So solving linear inequalities is pretty much the same thing as solving equations. We'll see the difference in a moment. So the first one is 4x is less than 12, so we're going to divide both sides by 4, and it's going to be x is less than 3. The difference comes in when we multiply or divide, and the negative was on the same side of the letter. When we do this, we flip the way the inequality is pointing. So for negative 4x, we divide both sides by negative 4, and the negative was on the same side of the letter, so we flip the way the arrow is pointing. Whereas the next one, when we divide by 4, even though there's a negative there, the negative was not on the same side of the letter, so we don't change it, and our answer is going to be just x is less than negative 3. For negative 5y plus 8 is less than or equal to 30. We get rid of the stuff that's on the same side of the inequality as the letter, but not touching it, which is that positive 8. So we're going to do the opposite, which is a negative 8. So we subtract 8 on both sides. That gives us negative 5y is less than or equal to 22. And then we divide both sides by negative 5. And we do flip the way the arrow is pointing, since the negative, the arrows on the the negative was on the same side of the letter. When we multiply or divide it, and that's going to give us y is greater than or equal to negative 4.4. And this last one, get rid of the stuff that's on the same side of the inequality but not touching the letter. That's the negative 3. So the opposite of that is adding 3. So we add 3 to both sides. That's going to give us 8a is less than or equal to negative 13. Then we divide both sides by 8. We're not going to flip the way the inequality is pointing. And negative 13 divided by 8, I'm kind of tired, so I'm going to use my calculator for this. It's negative 1.625, and I need to not have an equal sign, but an inequality still. So go ahead and pause it if you need any more time before we go on to the next page. So we want to find the slope in the y-intercept that has infinite solutions for these equations. Well, infinite solutions will have the same slope and the same y-intercept. So we really just got to solve these for y's, and to do that, we did that in the last review. We subtract 7x on both sides, and that's going to give us 2y equals negative 7x plus 19. Then we would divide both sides by 2. And that's going to give us y equals negative 7/2x plus 9.5. So the infinite slope would be, the equation would have infinite slope would be, or infinite solutions would have a slope of negative 7/2. That'd be your m, and your b is going to be 9.5. Now, if it asks for it as a coordinate point, then you would write 0, 9.5. And for the next one, we would add 4x to both sides first. It's going to give us 5y equals 4x plus 31. Then we would divide both sides by 5. That gives us the equation y equals 4/5 x plus 6.2. So your slope, the slope that would have infinite solutions of this would be 4/5, and your b would be 6.2. Or again, if it wants it as a coordinate point, we would write 0, 6.2. So we want to find the equation from that table, the linear equation, and write it in the form of y equals mx plus b. Well, the b is the value of y when x is 0. So again, it's the value of y when x is 0. So that'd be a positive 9. So for all these, y is always y and x is always x. You only have to find two things. And the first one is going to be 9. Your slope, I'm going to write this as really informally. It's the changes in y's over the changes in x's is our slope. So for this one, it looks like, how do you go from 9 to 5, and then from 5 to 1, and then from 1 to negative 3? We are subtracting 4. So we're going to have a negative 4 over the change in x's, which is from 0 to 2, to 2 to 4, and from 4 to 6, we're always adding 2. And a negative 4 divided by a positive 2 is a negative 2 for the slope. So our equation is y equals negative 2x plus 9. And likewise, the next one, we don't see what the x equals 0 is. It's not on the table. We can reverse the process, though, because we're still kind of counting up by 2. So if I went backwards 1, in a sense by 2, I reverse the process. Since the table is increasing by 4, if I want to go backwards by one row, this would be a positive 9. Again, that's kind of funny. It looks like it might end up with the same equation, even though it wasn't really intended to be that way. So we have y equals, got an x there. We know the y-intercept is 9, so let's find the slope. So how do you go from 13 to 17, and from 17 to 21? We're adding 4 each time, and from 2 to 4, and from 4 to 6, we're adding 2 each time. Almost the same thing. So our slope is the change in y's over the change in x's. And the slope is going up by 4 for the y's over a positive 2 for the x's. And 4 divided by 2 is a positive 2. So this time y equals 2x plus 9, whereas the other one was y equals negative 2x plus 9. So close, but not quite the same. Go ahead and pause it if you need more time. In this one, we want to graph these lines, and we're going to find the solution. So we do want to be really careful with this because it's very easy to make a mistake when you're doing this in hand. Since you have technology, it's going to be very easy for you. So we start with this one right here, the y equals 5/8 x minus 3. We put a dot at negative 3 in the y-intercept. That's our starting point, our b. And our slope is 5/8. So that means from that first point, we're going to go up 5, and then we're going to go right 8. So counting up 5 takes us there, and then over to 8 takes us right here. It's going to be at the point 8, 2. And we got the kind of difficult task for on the computer of drawing a straight line. And then we're going to graph y equals negative 3/4 x plus 8. So we're going to start at the y-intercept, which is way up here at a positive 8. And the slope is negative, so we're going to go down 3 and right 4. From this first dot, we're going to go right down 3 and right 4, which takes us to about right here. And then we draw a straight line that goes through those points. And then the solution is where those lines intersect or cross over each other. And it looks like it's right there at this dark red point, and that it is. It's going to be the point 8, 2 would be our solution. And the last thing, just kind of highlight for you, what is a proportional graph? A proportional graph is a straight line that goes through the origin of the graph. So that line there that I just drew right here, that's proportional. So kind of keep that in mind. If you have any kind of questions, go ahead and email me.